Sometimes I feel like I'm captain of the ship. Sometimes I feel like I should just quit. Sometimes I feel like maybe I should go home.
Welcome everyone to In the Spotlight. My guest this week is a genre-bending and genre-blending artist with a diverse background and a truly unique and original sound, Ty Stonehawker. Ty, welcome to the show and welcome to the Spotlight.
Hey, thanks for having me. I've always wanted to be in the spotlight.
Well, there you go. You are in the spotlight, and it's a good thing you got your shades on, Ty, because it's shining bright right on you right about now.
All right. I like that.
Awesome.
Hey, everybody, look at me.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, I've got quite a few things, Todd, that I want to talk with you about, but I thought we kind of kick things off with a little bit about your new music. So you've got your latest single, While You Were Gone, just dropped a couple of weeks ago, and you have a new album, Gambling Man, that's due to be released in July. So
Yeah,
I'd like to start with the single. And my question is, what was it, or should I say, who was it that inspired that song?
Her name, we'll keep her name out of the paper.
Protect the innocent.
But she was a wild flower child type gal that I fell in love with many, many years ago. And While You Are Gone is me telling her that no matter where you are, no matter where you go, whatever it is you're doing, I'll be right here while you are gone. And I spent a lot of time waiting for her to come back around. And but it was a great relationship. It was a lot of fun anyway. But you got to be open and honest in those situations. And yeah, so that was the premise of the thing. But the other thing about While You Are Gone is a friend of mine had bet me that I couldn't. It was kind of a bet. I say a bet, but there was no money wagered, so no money lost if I lose. But we're gonna leave that up to the listener if I win or lose. But he dared me or bet me that I couldn't write a song using the word cucumber and have it not be silly. So this song was originally titled Cucumber, but now the cucumber is in parentheses behind While You Are Gone. And I used to see that on CDs, albums a lot when I was a kid, and now I know why the parentheses are there. And when we changed the name to While You Are Gone is because that's the refrain. That's what I sing over and over again. And as I'm learning and being mentored by these amazing people in the industry, it's just something when somebody hears the hook over and over and they go to type the name of the song in and it's not, they go and it's not cucumber, you know. So that would be a shot in the dark for you to think that the song was entitled Cucumber. So it's While You Are Gone with cucumber in the parentheses. It's about a wild, fun-loving hippie flower child that I fell in love with and waited patiently for her to return. And the song is filled with love and light and all that beautiful fun stuff. I personally, for me, it's the song of the summer, which is why we released it last as well.
No, it's got that kind of vibe, Ty, I'll tell you. And I do recall now that you're saying that the cool is a cucumber reference in the lyrics. But
yeah,
While You Were Gone and that refrain and it's a great hook. And I think that when people hear it, it's going to get stuck up here with or without the cucumber. It's going to get stuck up here, and that's a good thing. So definitely has a great hook and a great sound. Now I'm curious though with the rest of the songs on the album Gambling Man. How did you go about the process of picking which songs were going to make it, and what was that experience like for you?
It was a magical experience. Really, I learned so much. I got the opportunity to work with a producer, studio owner that had been in the business for 40 plus years, and he owned this amazing recording studio out of San Francisco called Prairie Sun, and everybody had recorded there. I mean, like Primus did an album there, but Tom Waits did 11 albums there. Bob Dylan's done work there. Van Morrison, Greg Allman, Journey, Gavin Byers, UFO, just the Pixies, Dead Kennedys. So the Turnpike Troubadours recorded the Hello, Goodbye Normal Street there, and just so like every genre, and just 40 years of that. And uh, my old psychedelic rock band Stony Holiday got the opportunity to go record there just as the pandemic was ending. And while I was there and meeting the amazing Muka, is his name, the studio owner, producer, I had asked him what it would take for him to produce me. And I was totally thinking financial, right? And
Mhm.
he took a pause and he kind of scratched his chin and he said, I'll do it for you if you get sober. And so that was an amazing thing. I was just selfish enough. I checked myself into rehab as soon as we left that session and called him 3 weeks later and said, when do we start? I'm fresh out of rehab. And now today, 2 years later, I am so much more thankful for my sobriety than I am for what he's done for my career and the opportunities and the people that he's introduced me to, because I wouldn't be able to have any of that without the direction that I'm headed mentally, spiritually, and just with the knowledge of the music industry and the growing that I'm doing, personal growth, and as far as my songwriting and my musicianship, all that stuff is being expanded through my sobriety. And I tell a lot of people this same thing, is that um, my dream to be a musician and be in the spotlight, which I'm in today, started a long time ago. And I slowly followed the bottle away from my dream. And now that I've put the bottle down and picked my dream back up, I feel like I'm back. And so that's how I got started with this project. So Mooka is now producing this a record that wasn't called The Gambling Man at the time. And it was originally 11 tracks. And when he took over, and his knowledge of the music industry and just everything that he's done in 40 years, I mean, we're using 70s equipment, the same type of stuff that Led Zeppelin recorded into, and it's all analog and it's going to tape, and no one gets to do that anymore, because not only is that equipment hard to find, no one wants to use it, and it's like a labor of love. It takes way more time. It's it's just everything about it is, it's a dinosaur. It's something that people don't really do. And so I got to be one of the last people to make a record in an old analog studio with one of these older gentlemen that's in his 70s that has been producing for so long. And so that part of it was so awesome to me. And so one of the things he told me when we started is that his word is on this is like the authority of it. And you just, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to listen to him. And so I did. And even though it hurt my pride a little bit to cut 11 tracks down to 6, we landed with 6 of those original tunes that I had written that he really vibed with and that he wanted to bring to life. And so that's what we have here, is those 6 songs. And so 3 of the songs on this album are what he called wood songs. So they're like a bluegrass type of format, but with drums. So we don't really call it bluegrass. I think it fits under an Americana vibe.
Okay.
And then the other 3 songs are more kind of a rock and roll, drums, bass, electric guitars, keyboards, and then we mix in the banjos and all the fun stuff with that, because I'm an acoustic player by trade, and I played the acoustic guitar for 24 years. And I think about 20 years ago, I came out on stage with my first electric guitar as a Gibson SG, and my dad was at the show, my foster dad, and he came up to me after the show and he said, if I ever see you play the electric guitar again, I'll never come to another show. And so I put that SG in the case till just recently. And through all of this learning and growing and just this, focused on my craft now, like full time, I started taking lessons and learned that the electric is much different than the acoustic. You can't just get up there and mash it chicka bong, chicka bong,
Yeah.
like it's an acoustic guitar, you know. I mean, you can, and it gets done. But I'm just learning the ins and outs of the electric. And I had a friend's dad built me a telly, and so I've also learned that each different guitar has a different kind of style that you play it in too.
Mhm.
So like the SG is kind of more of a Grateful Dead, rock and roll Allman Brothers style, and the telly is more like a Waylon Jennings type thing. So there's just so much to take in. And so that's how we got those 6 songs. Not to take us too far off topic, but those are the 6 songs that Muka liked the most. So
Well,
the producer picked them.
yeah, Ty, I have to tell you, I mean, I appreciate everything that you just shared because I think it says a lot about you as an artist, but I think it says more about you as a person and how
Oh,
open
thanks.
and how candid you were and just those conditions that you had to meet in order for that album to be recorded. So kudos to you for doing that and for sharing that and being open about that because there's one thing as I was reading up and listening, you know, to your background and different things, and I have to say that there was kind of a recurring theme that through ups and downs and different things, you really seem to have a positive outlook and a positive vibe about you. Where does that strength come from?
You know, I'm gonna have to take it all the way back to my upbringing, and just I feel a lot of people ask a similar question, and I asked my mom. She said, "You came out that way." You know, I've just always been this bright light, and even in my darkest times, the light never went all the way out. And so it you know, my parents gave me a great upbringing. They're religious. We had a we never struggled for money. We weren't rich or anything. We were a middle class family in Idaho, and but I chose drugs and alcohol, and it wasn't ever shown to me. It wasn't in the home. You know, the first time my dad smelled marijuana was because I set off the fire alarm in the house, and I had convinced him in the middle of the night that it was this new kind of incense when I can hear my mom coming down the stairs screaming, "It's marijuana! I smell it!" And I was busted. But so they didn't ever even show me that road. It's something that I sought out and went after. And what started as a psychedelic experiment to expand the mind locked me into a deep drug and alcohol addiction that I had a hard time breaking free from. And in all that time, I became so selfish that when somebody offered to make a world-class record for me, I literally said to myself, well, I can get sober long enough to make this record. And so I did. And the way that he rubbed off on me, it's something that I cherish and that I want to continue doing is also helping others if
Well,
they yeah, go ahead.
no, it absolutely will. And again, I appreciate and give you so much credit for sharing that, Ty, because one of the questions I wanted to ask you, and a lot of times people get asked, you know, if you were to look at, say, your musical influences or maybe your favorite movies or favorite actors, you know, what would be your Mount Rushmore? But I'm going to rephrase it a little bit, especially based on some of the things you've shared. If you were to take a look at the people who've been the greatest influence on you personally, who would be on your Mount Rushmore of influences?
Well, I'm gonna have to just go right back to Muka, the producer of this record, because um, literally, you know, just in passing, he had said that, and I took to it. And when I called him, he was like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna stick to my word." He didn't think I was gonna do it, or who knows what he thought, but I took him seriously, and it's changed my life so much. But other than him, like the example that my own father and my parents have set, you know, they're really happy people living a really good, clean life. And although there's plenty of fun to be had partying,
Mhm.
if you're one of those kind of people like me that doesn't have a governor or can't turn it off, or if you have one, you're gonna have, you know, just never know where it's gonna lead. Then partying can become dangerous, because at first it was a ton of fun. Don't get me wrong. And the stories that I have are ridiculous, and a lot of them are cool. But then it became fun with problems. And those stories aren't as fun, but some of them can, but then it became just problems over and over again. And those stories, I don't know that we're going to tell too many of those, but what we are going to say is that if your light ever does get dim, just remember that it can always come back,
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think that you are a shining example of that. And you're living and not just talking the talk, but walking the walk, especially these last 2 years and going beyond just staying sober to make the album. And I think that, whether it's your musicianship or as you said, you're venturing in now to doing electric, to all these different things and all these possibilities, I think exist because of some of those changes you made. And I just think the possibilities at this point for you could be endless. But one of the things I want to make sure I touch on, though, before we wrap up, Ty, is we've got the singles out, the album coming out here in July. What else is on tap for you in the rest of 2024? What can folks look forward to?
Well, so because I'm finally taking my music career so seriously, and I'd done some recordings before, but they were all kind of bar band demo type quality. Not saying that they're no good and that they're not fun. They're great and they're a lot of fun to listen to. And if you like my music, you'll probably like my old stuff with my psychedelic rock band. But now that I'm taking my music seriously, I've moved myself to Nashville where I can be surrounded like-minded individuals. And so from that standpoint, and then the record that we made that's coming out in July, we've got one of Zach Brown Band's bass players from some of his studio albums played bass on this record. We've got Hank Early from the Turnpike Troubadours on pedal steel and banjo, and just so many wonderful people. We've got gospel singers, and we've got rip and lead electric guitar players and all this stuff. And to tell you the truth, I'm only playing the acoustic guitar on one track on this album. And that's okay, because that's how they built records back then. And that's how Muka built this record. And Johnny Cash never played the guitar on his records, and neither did any of the guys in his band. They would have the Wrecking Crew come in, same with Beach Boys and all these bands. You have professional musicians come in. Not only does it save time, but it sounds really good. And then the spin that I put on it was, now I have to learn these parts the way this professional did, and I'm going to learn and grow. And by the time I get that to stage, I'm going to be trying to excel and play the music on that level now. So it's super beneficial to do it that way. Plus, it also is really easy to listen to when you've got just these top of the line guys, and they're a lot of fun, and the whole process has been great. But for the rest of 2024, so on the move to Nashville, I bought with the last of my monies, I sold some property that I had in Guatemala, and I bought a fifth, not a fifth wheel, but a toy hauler, travel trailer, and I loaded everything I owned into there: my sound system, all 11 guitars, my upright bass, my desk and my table, and just like everything. And then I also do I have a coffee shop, and I design my own clothing and sell those designs. I have them made in Guatemala, and I sell those clothes at music festivals. And what I tell people is, I'll be here at the festival till y'all are ready to have me up on stage. I'm already here, so I won't have to go far from the parking lot to the backstage. Is it? But anyway, and the trailer was in 1998. It was $5,000. I mean, those things are hard to get for 10 grand, and it was a lemon, and I overloaded it. And so getting there to Nashville was this whole labor of love. If you go on my social medias, I tried my hardest to document everything. We're on the side of the road, just, hijinks after this, after that. Anyways, we stopped in Oklahoma and made another record that'll be out next year. So I'm just really, really hitting it hard. And for me, for the rest of the year, once I get done with my vending festival circuit, I will land in Nashville, and we will finish putting the band together. So far, my pedal steel dobro player, Ryan Mickey, moved with me, because he was the other person in my life that doesn't have kids or a real serious job, and is really serious about his music career. And so the two of us are gonna we moved to Nashville, and we're gonna put a band together and get a show on the road with these songs. So
wow. Well, Ty, I'll tell you, the cool thing is, and I think that when we were putting together the concept, for this particular show, and just trying to figure out who do we really want to shine a light on, you are exactly the kind of person that we want to shine that light on, because you've earned it. And really for you, I think it's only just beginning. So I want to wish you all the best. And thank you for taking time out of your day. And because you're in Oregon right now, right?
I am. I just drove 38 hours by myself to Oregon. I fly to Guatemala tomorrow to pick up the new clothing designs for the summer. And then I fly back and head to the Gorge Amphitheater in Washington to do our first festival of the summer. We've been doing them all spring down in the Nashville area at the Caverns, and we did one in Iowa, and yeah, so that's how I'm funding the thing. I'm not selling drugs anymore. I do tell everybody I've always sold whatever I'm on, and now it's coffee.
Well, there you go. You know what? Those are good words to live by. And again, I wish you safe travels. I wish you all the best, and I look forward to hearing more music from you, Ty, down the road. So thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you guys.
All right, you got it. And folks, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Play, player, play. I'm a gambling man, baby, babe. Ooh, baby, babe. I'm a gambling man, gambling man. I'm a gambling man, baby, babe. I gambled for your love and I won. Had I lost, I don't know what I'd have done. And I don't know what I will do. One day I will gamble and lose you. Play, player, play. I'm a gambling man, baby, babe. Ooh, baby, babe. I'm a gambling man, gambling man. I'm a gambling man, baby, babe. Now you're gone and you said that we're through. You left me here all alone, I'm feeling blue. But I now know what I must do. Find someone else to gamble and lose. Play, player, play. I'm a gambling man, baby, babe. Ooh, baby, babe. I'm a gambling man, gambling man. I'm a gambling man, baby, babe. Take it away, Mickey.